One of the tricks to having a really good garden is to be able to have a spread of color that will take you through all of the seasons. So instead of just going in springtime, I would encourage you to go and visit garden centers in the summertime and in the fall too. That way you're likely to discover things that you can bring home that will give you color and interest at other times besides spring. And if you're looking for some perennials that are tough and hardy and easy to grow and not normally bothered by things like deer and rabbits, then these lovely perennials are definitely some of the things that you should consider. These are, of course, Astilbes, sometimes known by the common name of false spireas. And in particular, this whole series that I'm showing here is developed from a Chinese species called Astilbe Chinensis. Now, there are many different varieties of this on the market, but what's neat about these is that they are later flowering, and that means that with these you'll be able to extend the color well into the summertime. And this particular variety that we're looking at now is one called Astilbe Visions. And this variety is one that's been selected as one of the hand-picked for you certified plants, which gives you some idea of the reliability and hardiness and just good garden performance of this variety. It's one that produces lots, as you see, of these bright raspberry pink fluffy flowers that are produced on really strong, sturdy, stocky stems. And what I like about it also is that, as you see, it produces lots of really good dark green foliage that provides wonderful ground cover. It's hardy, it's very easy to grow, it flowers for a long time, and it also makes a great cut flower. So you can cut these stems and bring them in and put them into a floral arrangements too. They like to grow in partially shaded sites, and they love to have rich, fertile, moist conditions. And what's kind of neat about this particular type is that they are more drought tolerant than many of the other types of Astilbes that you can grow in your garden. I'm not suggesting that you grow this as a drought tolerant perennial. It will do way better if you're able to incorporate plenty of organic matter, certainly mulch them well, and you'll find then that if you've got a dampish moist site, not soaking wet, but dampish moist, that these plants will really grow and produce lots, as I say, of this strong, vigorous growth and absolutely gorgeous flowers that are just knockout beautiful. Now, that was just the beginning. It was introduced by Futures Plants, and from then until the present day, it's become a very popular plant, grown very widely right throughout North America, into Europe, and probably elsewhere in the world too. Then the one that's next to it is another in what they call the Vision series, and this particular one is one called Vision Inferno. It was raised by Wim van Veen in 2005 and introduced in 2006, also by Futures Plants. And what's interesting about this plant is that it's a hybrid between the Chinensis type and the Arenzi type, which is a series that were raised, very famous series, raised in Germany. And as you see, this also has dark green glossy foliage, but look at this, beautiful, pristine, white, slightly pale pink flowers that are fluffy and again are carried nice and prominently above the foliage. Really a kind of pale pink and very pretty and lovely when it just comes out. All of these flower buds are just now emerging, and in another week or two this is going to be a glorious sight. Then take a look at this one. This is one called Visions in Red, and this grows a similar size, similar habit with red stems and dark green foliage, and then as you see, this one produces this bright reddish purple flower that sticks up again nice and prominently above the foliage. All growing to about 2.5 foot with a canopy of leaves that's about 15 or 16 inches or so high. Raised by Wim van Veen too. This is one of his earlier hybrids. I think this one was raised in 1993. Then from the Van Veen dynasty comes this much more recent selection, and this is called Visions in White. So here's the same series, but this time, as you see, this is pristine white, and when these flowers open, they will be absolutely gorgeous above the dark green canopy. This one was much more recent. This is 2007, 2008, but as you see, adding considerably to the color selection. And then right on the end is probably the most successful introduction of all of them. This is one called Visions in Pink. And this, as you see, is a vigorous, strong growing, very bright pink colored variety that was raised by Gert van Buren in 1997, also in Holland. So put out by Futures Plants. All of these varieties are available at your garden centers. You can grow them either as single individuals in beds and borders, but man, if you're able to take these and arrange and blend the colors together and have bold groupings, particularly around a water feature or perhaps in a bog garden or somewhere that lays a little on the moist side, you can have lots and lots of glorious color that will keep your color going right through into the latter part of the summer. This is the Visions series of Astilbes.